Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to make a scrapbooking layout using these papers here. These are a new release called Fresh Paint and you'll find them in the May-June catalogue, and they're very bright and very bold and I love all the designs on them. They're almost like a retro graffiti type look, but I could see this paper being used for car racing or any type of road trip. I love the streaks of this one as well, and this is a real graffiti wall art, but the ones I'm going to be using today are these three across the bottom. You can see I've got them spread out here. I've already started dry fitting a layout, and this layout is totally cut with my Cricut machine, and I've already cut into this paper pack, so these are the ones that I'm going to be using today rather than this side. I thought they would work really well with black and white, and I've done a lot of slicing and added a few things in. These actual arrows are from the You Are Here collection, and this shape is originally like a pennant shape, but I've manipulated a bit to add in a few little details. And these little luggage tags, I've manipulated those as well. They had a globe type element on there, but I just wanted the luggage type tags to put on here. I had a bit of a mishap when I was cutting out these arrows. I originally designed it so that they would be cut, the overlay part would be cut in nectarine, but I fed the wrong piece of paper through, so I actually put this pattern paper through. But I quite love how they look cut out like this. So I'm going to run with those colours, and this piece here was supposed to be nectarine as well, but I've created a stencil type font as an overlay to go over top of this for the title, and I really think it's a happy accident. This was supposed to be solid nectarine, but I really think that looks quite cool with this paint splatter type effect. So you can see how this is all going to come together. I'm going to adhere all of these pieces onto here. I'm not going to make you watch me do all of that. I've already gone ahead and done some of these, but I decided with the bluebird and the clover that I would actually use the light side rather than the dark side. But it's just a simple case of putting on some glue, or you could use tape runner, whatever you're comfortable with using. I like liquid glue for things like this because it gives me some wiggle room. It's quick, it's very easy to do. I'm just going to move this off to the side so that I can use my all-purpose mat here for this part. Make sure that I've got the arrows lined up correctly. And rather than putting the glue on the actual overlay type piece, I'm going to put it directly onto the black base layer. Sometimes it's easier to put the glue onto the more solid piece, pick it up, place it over top and line it up. Well, for me, I find that easier to do. So that's that little arrow done. I'm just going to set this aside. And I thought about popping this up on foam tape, but I've kept the little inside pieces for the A. So I'm not going to do that because that would mean that they would then be sitting further down than this piece if I popped it all up on foam tape. So I'm just going to adhere this like normal, and then I'll pop this whole banner piece up onto foam tape. And I love having that little bit of extra time to get everything lined up perfectly. I've got my little triangle pieces off to the side. They are off camera at the moment, but I'm going to put the glue onto the actual cardstock and use my pickup tool. And this glue dries clear, so there's no need to worry about that bit of white glue oozing out there. I put a little bit much on, but you can see by using liquid glue, that gives you time to move things around and get them in the position that you want. And it just finishes it off when you put the inside pieces of those letters. So make sure you keep those. Sometimes they get lost when you go to take them off the Cricut. But now it's time for me to adhere all of these pieces together. I'm going to start with the top one. I'm not going to make you watch the whole entire thing, but the way I've designed this is so that there is a black border around the edges of all of these just to separate the colours a little bit. And then I'm going to do the bottom one. And the beauty of having double-sided paper is that if you go to put something together like this, you can always flip things over. Now the easiest way I think to construct these two parts of the circles, because I've sliced it so that the large one is on the left side and the smaller one is on the right. I'm going to, now that I've done the top and bottom one, I'm going to bring in the right side piece and I'm going to butt them up against each other and match these up. Now, it doesn't matter if things aren't totally perfect, because when you put this into an album, there's going to be some separation. Whether you use a D-ring album or a post-bound album, there's going to be a little bit of separation between the two. So if you don't get it exactly right, nobody is really going to notice, because I always think that the main feature of a layout should be the photos themselves. It's fairly easy to put this together because the shape is curved on the end, so you can see roughly where that curve should match up on the outline piece of the black. So there we have the main pattern for the page, and now I'm just going to bring in all the other pieces and do a bit of a dry fit. I'll just quickly adhere this together so you can see with the luggage tag that there are 3 layers to it. There's the base layer, which is in white, and that's there so that these little holes that you see here will show through. I may put some string or something in those, or I might decide to put a brad over the top. I'm just going to see how everything comes together with that. And then this is like a journaling spot, or you could use it like a subtitle if you wanted to. So they're going to fit around here. I've got a 5x7 mat for my photo, which I'm going to put on an angle. Game day is going to go across the top. I'm going to put these altered pennants that I've done coming out from the side here. I am going to do some trimming with these so that they're not exactly the same all the way through, but I did want to have the bluebird and the clover in here to pick up the colours from the pattern paper. And then on this side, because this one has so much movement to it, even though there's a bit of movement here replicating it from the rest of this circle, I'm actually going to just do a grid style photo layout for that. So that's going to go across the page like this. The arrows are going to come in as well, and I'm going to put another little triangle or pennant type feature up here. Now, some of these are going to have the points coming down onto the photo, and I'm going to make sure that the ones that do that are the ones that are on an edge of the photo. I don't want the point coming straight down like this, straight into the photo. I just want it on the edge of it, because I need to put my photos on here and I really don't want to crop out too much, but usually these edge areas here don't have too much on them. So I'm just trying to work out where these placements are going to go for these, and you can see I need to trim off the arrows as well. And then before I stick all of this, I think I might do some splatters on the page. So now that I've put all those down, I'm going to take them all away. Now I've put some black re-inker onto here, and I'm not watering it down at all because I want them to be solid black splatters. And I don't mind that some of these are going to be streaks at all. This sort of layout, I think, lends itself to any type of grunging up, any type of splatters. And I'm not masking off this area either. I want some of these splatters to go on top of the pattern paper just to bring it all in together. This layout's pretty much nearly done, but what I'm going to do is bring in my black ink, and I'm going to go around the edges of all of these pieces in one go just to finish them off. I was going to double mat it onto black, but there's quite a lot of black on this layout with the big black circle and also with the photo mats. So I'm thinking this may just be enough to add what I need to the edges of these white base pages, just to grunge them up a little bit. Now, if you want to add more ink in, you just angle the paper just a little bit more. And it really doesn't matter if you get more on one area than the other, because with all the splatters and everything like that, it just adds to the whole feel of this page. You can see the effects of the archival black around the edges of the paper. It just brings off and finishes off the center pieces where the pattern papers come in as well. And I have added some acrylic shapes from the fresh paint. Not too many, because there's quite a lot going on with all of the other elements. When you get these little arrows here are actually the inside pieces of those arrows, and I'll just tip some out here to also show you. These funky looking hearts are actually the inside pieces of these open hearts. You could not use those, but I quite like how it's a loose shape, and I think it goes with the theme of this layout. And this is what I mean about the arrows. When you get these, some of the pieces are still together, so you do need to push those out, and then you get like a twofer. You get the inside bit and the outside bit, and I love the 3D sort of look to these, or the retro feel to these with the drop shadows. It's a really lovely effect on those arrows. One other little tip that I would like to give you, if you're layering up several elements and then you're going to trim them off later, I usually use my scissors. Just do one at a time. It is tricky to cut through too much, and this is almost like 6 pieces of paper here, because there is a black base and then the color on top, same again here, and same with this one. So my little happy accident of not putting nectarine in when I was cutting out these overlays for the arrows, and also the piece that went underneath the heading here, I think works really, really well and adds to the whole feel of this fresh paint layout. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I really love the vibrancy of these, all the texture in these papers. They really make for fun sports day or outdoor activity type pages, but I could also see PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo photos on this layout as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy crafting, and bye for now.